If you're not using this one tool to enhance your video clips when something pops up that needs a little bit of fixing, you might be wasting your time. And that's what we're going to figure out today in this video, because we're testing this new tool called Aiarty. And if you guys have ever used Topaz Labs, or if you're familiar with what Topaz Labs is, as far as I can tell, Aiarty has kind of postured itself to be the more budget-friendly version of Topaz Labs, something that's not going to cost you as much. So I haven't used Aiarty yet, but one thing I do want to let you guys in on before we go ahead and start this test, Aiarty reached out to me and asked to sponsor this video. Now, before you go crazy thinking that I've been paid to say this or that, I want to let you guys know what this video is and what this video isn't. What this video is an honest take on how the software works, how well it works, and my honest opinions on it. What this video isn't is paid sponsorship where I get given a script and I'm supposed to read off the script and I have specific keywords or specific things that I'm supposed to say. That's not what this video is. This video is not that. In fact, I made very clear with my point of communication at the company that, yes, I want to go ahead with this sponsorship, but I want to be very transparent with my audience and with my viewers about how I feel about the tool and what my opinions are towards it, just because I value that authenticity and I value that transparency. I want to be able to trust you guys, and I want you guys to be able to trust me as well. And they were very open to that. They were very receptive to that idea, and they even encouraged it, to be honest. It felt like a really great thing to see coming from this company, and I'm just excited to get this tool in testing mode. And now I will say I opened the tool once for like 10 seconds and then closed it, because as soon as I opened it, I was looking at it and I was thinking like, okay, this would be better if I was going into this completely blind, right? So I have the tool downloaded. I looked at it for about 10 seconds and that's all I have with it. So I'm going to be going through all of this and using this tool for the very first time with you guys. Anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so I'm on my homepage here. I'm on my desktop. Where to go? I'm going to search. Oh, here it is. Recommended Aiarty Video Enhancer. So this is the splash screen as it's loading. Okay, and it pops up just like this. I'm going to make this full screen here. Okay, so this is our interface, right? I click home and it takes you to the website. Okay, we got that. So if I'm in here, here's my hardware. This is my graphics card. I do have the 4070. Gotcha. So Mo Detail, Mo Detail, that's kind of cool. Generates more details, sharpness, clarity, and color balance. Deblur and denoise. Better hair and outdoor plants. So, okay, that's what this specific model's for, okay? And then there's smooth. Okay, more stuff pops up here. Okay, so this is like a breakdown of what each model does. Okay, I'm following here. So Mo Detail is diffusion and GAN technologies deliver powerful deblurring and denoising with a particular edge in recovering fine textures such as hair and strands, flowers, outdoor plants. Okay, was that upscaling, right? Making it ideal for high precision restoration, especially effective in daylight outdoor scenes, nature shots, and portraits where sharp texture and natural detail are essential. I actually curated a list of folders containing different clips that I wanted to use. So we'll just go through here and see how this works. Okay, so video details. So that'll be upscale, I believe. So here's one clip we can use. I think I want to try with this one just because the water is really soft right here, and you can see like in the background, just the background looks kind of soft. So I want to try this one. Drag this in here. Okay, so there is a preview downloading the AI model. Okay, so this is a 1:1 scale. I'm assuming the right side is, the right side is the after, the left side is before. Okay, so as when you're generating a preview, it generates the preview while it's paused. It doesn't do it in real time. I am going to render this one out. Add task. So here's this looks like my render queue down here at the bottom, I think. Okay, so yeah, this is the render queue. I'm going to modify that. I want to see, can I change my codec? Export settings here. Let's see this. Okay, format, MOV, codec, H.265, AAC for the audio. I'm going to change the export folder here. Oh, okay, wait. Hold on here. I want to clear this because I can go up to 4 times the resolution here. Okay, here it just looks really soft. Yeah, that doesn't really look like much of an upscale, to be honest. But also, like thinking about this from a technical point of view, this clip is far away. So there's also not a lot of fine detail to work with here. I'm going to set it back to 1 and export this one. Okay, so this is the first export. We're going to see how long this takes. It's estimating about a minute left. We're already at about 10% as I speak this, already back up to 15 now. Okay, so this is exporting pretty quick. And it's also down here keeping track of how much time it's taken to export this clip. So right here, we're at about 36 seconds right now. This one will be fast, I think. Okay, this one is done. This one has finished. We're going to open this up. Here's our clip. I'm going to drag it over to this screen. I'm pixel peeping. First impression, and I know this is the only clip that I've tested so far, so I don't want to make a final judgment on the upscaling abilities yet, but judgment on this specific clip feels as though it has softened the entire image. So I don't know. I'm going to test a few other clips here though with the upscaling. And this time I'm going to go more than just one, just because I think we can do that with clips that are a little more up close and have a little bit more detail. I'm done with this clip. I'm going to press this little X right here. Remove the selected video. Yes. Let's test this one. Okay, so this is of a bird. Okay, so you have kind of like an inspector tab up here. This clip to begin with was 1280 by 720 at 30 FPS. Okay, AI inference required. Let's preview this. So let's do the frame by frame preview. That's not too bad here. This was before, this is after. So what I'm gathering here is that this model works really well up close with things. Let's try ×4, right? See, I feel like ×4 is a little too soft for me. Like you can kind of see, I don't know, it just doesn't, let's go back to 2. I don't know, I feel like just with this particular clip maybe, or maybe it's the fact that it's a 720 clip to begin with, and there's not a ton of detail to start with. I think that 2 times looks a little bit better. What about 3? Oh, there's no 3 here. Okay, so I see here they give you the option to choose specific resolutions as well. So yeah, 4K, that would be the 4 times, looks like, whereas 2K quad 1440p, I think that's 2K, I believe. Okay, so another thing here is looks like there's a turbo button optimized for inference speed with slight quality trade-offs. Okay, so it's like better versus faster in DaVinci Resolve, it looks like. So this is faster mode. When this is turned off, you're in better mode. When this is turned on, you're in faster. So it goes a little bit faster at the cost of a little bit of quality. So, okay, this is turned on for a faster render. This is turned. I can't tell if it's just placebo in my mind. I feel like the turned off definitely does look better. So I'm going to keep that off. Okay. Now, another thing I want to do is frame interpolation here, add some FPS just because I see that's an option here. This clip to start with is 30 FPS. So let's jump to 60. Okay. We're going to add 60 FPS. Now there's an option for slow motion. Slow motion will change the video duration. I don't want to change how long this video takes to play out. I just want to add more frames within the duration that already exists. And that looks to be about 5 seconds. So doubling the frames, there's 30 times 5. That's 150. Yeah, that's 150 frames. Doubling that. So now there's going to be 300 frames. Okay, let's see how this goes. Let's export current here. Okay, so this is exporting. So here's the bird. Okay, my honest thoughts here, and perhaps this is because I ran the 60 FPS. I'm going to go back down to 30 and render that as well. It looks AI generated. Like the way it moves, like there's a little bit of a blur in the motion. Kind of gives the fact that it was generated by AI away. So now let's uncheck this and do the same thing. Add task. So this one is without the frame interpolation I could see right here. Export current. I mean, I want to see if that smoothness, that softness that came in the motion perhaps was from the frame interpolation. So let's open this. Yeah, that was definitely from the frame interpolation because motion-wise, this one just looks a lot better, I think. Yeah, I definitely think that if this was a B-roll shot that you're just going to show on screen for a couple seconds, maybe it's a transitional kind of thing for whatever video you're working on, I think this could pass. For sure. Yeah, it just depends on what you're using it for, I think. There you go. You know, if you have this clip that's 720p and you really want to use it, well, here you go. Okay, let's try some other ones. Gonna remove this video. Let's try some slow motion stuff. So I have some videos here, right? So this one is of people, and they're just people moving, right? Just the stock footage here. And this one is a time lapse of a flower. And this one is this dog. This clip is already in slow motion. Now I am curious to see how that works with that. If it makes it look extra slow, maybe if it gives it that softness again. But the one I really want to test it on is this one here. Just because already good motion. There's a lot of motion going on, you know? So let's test it out. I'm going to drag this one in, loaded files. I only want to do the slow motion for this. So I'm not even going to bother upscaling. So frame interpolation. So this clip was 50 FPS. I want to go maximum slow motion, right? Just because in this day and age, if you're not pushing everything to the absolute best, why aren't you pushing everything to the absolute best? Okay. MOV H265. I think we're good to go here. I'm going to export this now that I've set where I want it to go. Export current. You can see down here in the corner of the frame, the progress bar moving. Now, I will say export's moving pretty quick. I mean, we're more than doubling the FPS here. Yeah, I'm curious to see how this goes through. And you can see in the corner also, it shows that I'm using my CPU and GPU at the same time. Okay, so this video finished rendering. I'm gonna open it up here. Perfect. All right, here we have our 4K video. It's a 120 FPS clip, and the frame rate does show to be 120. I'm gonna go to my retime controls and drag this puppy all the way out to 20%. That's not bad. Let's set this to optical flow. Damn, you set that to optical flow and it's a lot better. Everything's just super smooth. And I haven't even set motion estimation to speed warp better. I don't know if this will play speed warp better just because I don't have my render cache on. That's typically pretty heavy operation to play. Yeah, you see how smooth it's going or how choppy it is. I'm gonna set this to speed warp faster maybe. Yeah, it's still struggling to play a little bit. See, we're only at about 11 FPS up here. So I'm just gonna turn this off in the meantime, project settings. What about 25? See, I don't think that's too bad. You know what I mean? Like that looks pretty good, I think. I had this clip. I was 24 FPS and made it 120. So while there are other methods of doing that artificially without these extra frames, this tool builds in the extra frames. You know what I mean? So you're actually doing it the proper way. See, and this is like a tool like this is where, in my mind, generative AI is a very valuable thing to have just because otherwise you're not working with real frames. You know what I mean? Like there's other quick workarounds that's kind of like just a quick slap on fix, but it's not necessarily real. Whereas this is real just because you have extra frames to work with, you know? Yeah, this is cool. This is really cool. Let's try one more with the FPS increaser. I don't want to try the time lapse. The time lapse as it is sped up. But if I want to slow it down again, I'm going to have to add more FPS to be able to drag it out and play it down slower. So this is kind of like, just because the speed that it's playing at is kind of baked in, I want to slow it down again with a baked in footage. And also this footage is only at 720p. I want to upscale here. See that? Okay, starting with 720p, I feel like there's a little bit of a struggling going on. Now, granted, it's 720p. It's not a lot of detail to work with to begin with. I don't think I would use this footage because it just looks AI generated to me, to my eye. But I'm not here to test that. Right now, I want to test the FPS thing. So maybe I'll just leave that here for now, right? I just want to see the FPS. So let's max it out, 120. Export current, H.265. All right, let's just jump straight into Resolve with this one. Okay, here it is in regular motion. Now, this does register as 120 FPS in this clip. Retime controls. Let's drag this. Let's do the same thing. Let's do 25%. And I set the last one to optical flow, just because that's what you do in slow motion. And I don't think that looks too bad. It's definitely still like time-lapse looky, but it's a lot slower, you know? The motion looks better in the flower opening, I think. Let's try something else. Let's try 35. Yeah, like if there were specific movements you wanted to highlight here, that's where this tool would come in. I think this is cool. This is really cool. Yeah, I like this. Okay, the FPS increaser gets my seal of approval. I think that's really cool. Let's test the next part now, shall we? A denoise. We got some stuff here. Like this shot right here, okay? You can see there's a lot of noise in this clip. And honestly, there's so much like color noise that I'm not sure how confident I would be in any AI tool, honestly, removing that. Let's see. Let's try it. Let's try it. So we're going to change our model to super video, super denoise, super detail, right? So it's generating the preview. Damn, that doesn't look too bad. Oh, that's not bad at all. This is with an upscale. This is 2 times upscale. What if we just, we can't do 1. Okay, so it looks like we don't even have the option for 4. From a technical point of view, my inference here is that it's not allowing us to upscale beyond 2 times because then you're introducing more sharpness in every specific pixel, and that introduces the possibility of more noise being added in. And the whole point of this operation with this model is to reduce noise. So I'm guessing that's why we can't go above 2 times upscaling here, which, if that's the reason, makes sense in my mind. But whatever. This is really good looking so far. So I'm going to set my export destination and export this. Now, I will say I am aware that typically denoising is computationally very heavy. I am surprised at how quickly this export bar is moving. That's pretty quick for a 1440p clip as well. So it's okay. So it's taking a 720p clip, turning it into 1440, adding a bunch of denoise. This doesn't look too bad. This looks pretty good. And again, I want to iterate that, like, obviously as a filmmaker, you have to be aware that whatever clips you're using and whatever production you're making have to be contextually like pertinent or relevant, I guess. So you obviously wouldn't use this clip in, I don't know, your underwater nature documentary, or maybe you would as in the opening, but for what this looks pretty cool. So this is this is done. Let's open this up. Still a little bit of noise motion here in the shadows, I'm noticing. Like still frame, that looks really good. Still frame. You play it and you can still see a little bit of noise. All right. Now, just so that I know I'm not being too light or too harsh, I'm going to take the same original clip into Resolve and denoise here and see how it does. So here's the original clip. Let's bring this in, right? Now, I did say up front, like, come on, like this is a lot of noise and there's a lot of like color in this noise as well. And that kind of thing is hard to get rid of. Let's try it here. The only node I'm going to add here is the denoise node. Okay, so I use the AI denoiser built into Resolve here. I'm not sure if this is going to play just because denoising is, yeah, it's taking a minute to play. Also, this doesn't look as sharp. Let's turn on the AI super scale, 2 times RTX, quality level, give me ultra. So now I want to export this clip out and we'll test the two side by side. I am curious to see if in this export there is still that motion, that jumping around in the shadows for the noise that we saw. Just because that's what we saw in the Aiarty export. Let's see how the DaVinci Resolve export works. Okay, this is done. Let's open this up. Not as much noise movement here. So this is exported to, I believe, 1440 as well. Oh, sorry. This is exported even to 4K, 3840 by 2160. That super scale built into Resolve. Now, you can still see there is a little bit of softness here, like around these people, right? But in terms of denoising, I think I got to give it to Resolve on this one, to be honest. I mean, and you can still see there is a little bit of jitter here. Now, I don't want to definitively say whether or not the jitter in this video from Resolve is from like heat waves, maybe. Maybe it's just an optical illusion as the sun's going down over here. Not sure. In terms of denoising, I think I got to give it to Resolve currently. We're going to try one more clip. I want to do this clip right here. Now, I do understand that this is a 720p clip. I got that. This clip is dark. Clip is really dark. All right. So, denoise. We have the... Okay, wait. Super video. This is the denoise model selected. Okay. And this is what it's supposed to look like in a still frame, upscaled twice. So this should be an upscale of 1440p. Now you can still see there's like a lot of artifacting up here just because, again, a lot of heavy noise. But let's try it. You know what I mean? Doesn't hurt to try it. Export current. Okay, this one's done. Gonna open this up. Okay, it's not, well, I mean, there's a lot of artifacting here around the surrounding brighter parts of the image. Gotta be honest. Like I said, I'm going to be open and honest and transparent in this video. This is a sponsored video, but honesty is always first. Don't know if I'd use this tool for denoising. Personally, that's just me. I'm going to put this into Resolve as well, just to test this, just to be absolutely certain. Here's the bridge shot. Right, let's jump into the color page. I'm going to save this again and then try to super scale, twice enhanced. Let's just leave it at medium for now. This, denoise test 1, same location, export this. From what I'm seeing here, I don't know if this one's this much better, to be honest. Maybe this is just a really tough clip. I mean, it was 720p and very noisy. Let's see what this looks like. This one doesn't look much better, I'll be honest. Coming out of Resolve, I think this is just one of those clips where it's really noisy. So I'm going to have to give, probably wouldn't use this clip rating. I mean, just in terms of here, though, that's really good. Okay, just to keep things moving along, just because I've been recording for 50 minutes already, which I've only ever happened once before since I've started YouTube, I'm going to move along with the next test. So now I want to test the restore function. So this is for like much older footage. So this is stock footage that I downloaded, and it's obviously very old. It was from an account on Pexels called Life in Super 8. So this is Super 8 footage that's been digitized, and we're going to see how well this AI model can take this footage and restore it in a clearer, sharper manner. And it says it's 15 FPS. Maybe we can bump that up to 30 perhaps. So let's just drag this in. I want to do the smooth. So restore original, better fidelity, all that other stuff. I do see there's a lot of noise reduction going on here. I can see that. Let's upscale. Can we do upscale? What does that look like? Now, again, there's not a lot of detail here. Okay, that doesn't look too bad, actually. I know there's not a lot of detail to be working with. Okay, yeah, that actually doesn't look bad. I want to try that. Now, let's max this out. Okay, we're doing the restoration model. We're doing 4K upscale and frame interpolation. Screw it. 120 FPS. Export current here. Let's see what this says it's going to take. Estimating about 12 seconds right now. Not too bad. I'll be impressed if this looks good. Also, I just want to call to your attention that this is a 4K clip. We're exporting or upscaling into 4096 by 2304. I mean, I guess it's not a lot more pixels, but that's a lot more pixels considering we're going from 15 FPS to 120. So yeah, I mean, I guess that is a lot more pixels. It says it's done. We're opening it up. Okay, that looks pretty good. Wow, that's pretty cool. Now, I don't know how old this footage is. Like, judging by how people are dressed, that looks like a cooler bag he's probably carrying. This looks like it was shot in the modern era, but it was Super 8 footage shot in the modern era, and to restore it like this, that's not too bad. Let's try another one. Gonna try this clip right here. This clip is originally 30 FPS, and this clip is originally 854 by 480 resolution. So actually, I'm not going to upscale it this much just because I don't think there's enough detail for it to work with to actually make it look believable. Just because like the little bit of noise here, you know, could pass for the bricks or whatever. Whereas when you try to upscale that, it's just gone. So let's not do 4 times. Let's do, what does twice look like? I think twice is better. Yeah, let's do twice. Okay, restoration, 2 times the upscale, 120 FPS, export this current, and this one's going a lot faster. Okay, let's test this one out. The camera's not moving here. There's a little bit of motion down here. The car's going by. However, I probably shouldn't have done 120 FPS just because the motion that is here makes it look kind of weird. It's like the cars are just kind of like teleporting in and out. Otherwise, this doesn't look too bad for restoration. I'm still really impressed with that first clip. This one right here. Like, that's not half bad for restoration, to be honest. So that's really cool. Seal of approval for the restoration feature. Now, I believe the last one we have to do is audio denoise. So I have a bunch of wave audio clips here that I took with my Zoom H1N field recorder, and I just kind of went about my day recording a bunch of things, and there's sound in the background. So let's see how this works. Okay, so this particular clip is me explaining that I'm driving in the car. I have my recorder, and you can hear the road noise in the background. Let's see, can I drag this in here? Oh, so it has to be a video format. Gotcha. Okay. I was not aware of that. So the denoise only applies to videos that have sound already attached to them. In terms of audio, I don't think I'm going to be able to test that one at the moment. I thought you could just upload wave files. So that's something to keep in mind if you're going to use this tool. One other thing I do want to do that I mentioned earlier and just didn't do was the dog. I want to add him in slow motion. So this clip is originally 25. Let's make it 50. We're upscaling twice. So this clip is originally 1080p and then export current. This is a 1080p clip. We're getting a 4K clip. We're doubling the FPS. Let's see how soft or fuzzy or kind of like that AI blur look we get with this. That's actually not bad. There's a little bit of that highlights there, but I don't think this was actually too bad. In terms of the fur, there wasn't as much like AI, that blurry AI look that as I was expecting. This was the original clip right here. Yeah, it got rid of a lot of that noise. Okay, yeah, that's not too bad. All right, so all in all, what are my thoughts here? What am I thinking? I think that there are some things that I would and some things that I wouldn't use this software for. Let's start off with the things that I would use this software for. I think I would use the upscaling feature in any future projects or just projects that I have where there's plenty of light and not a lot of noise and good contrast, good color contrast, just because that makes it easier for, and at least what I've seen in my own experiences in past, easier for the AI models to keep things looking as good as possible without introducing too much noise or just making things look a little funny in terms of the AI space. I would use the upscaling for that. And the upscaling and with the rendering is all really fast, to be honest. I went into this thinking that this was going to be a lot slower in the exporting, and It wasn't. So I would use this tool, this and the features associated with it for the upscaling with the mode detail model. Slow motion FPS. I would use this for the FPS and adding those extra frames there, just because, again, there's other ways of going about slowing down clips without those extra frames, making it, filling in those extra gaps without frames there. But this is actually adding other frames there. The final clip that you get actually has more frames. It just works. You know what I mean? So I would use this for that. Next feature, denoise. Can't say I would use it for the denoising. I got to be honest. This one right here, I mean, again, it depends on the specific shot and the specific context in which you intend to use that shot. However, a lot of the times when you're denoising, it's going to be on a clip in low light, just because that's when noise happens in the first place. So if you're going to have a lot of noise and you're going to get this noise jiggle that you see here in the shadows and the clouds, not sure I would use this, when alternatively, you could use Resolve and get this instead. I think this just happens to look a little bit better. Again, different tools for different things, and that's perfectly fine. There are still, these other things that this tool excels at. And then there's this one as well. This one was from Resolve, this particular export, but you can see there's still a lot of artifacting here. Here is the Aiarty version of this clip. It doesn't look a lot different, I'll be honest. It doesn't look very different. It upscaled great, I think. The details where there is light and where the software can see the pixels where there is light, it did a great job. As for just denoising, starting with a clip at 720p, not sure I would use this with clips with this much low light. Denoising, don't think it's the strongest feature of this software, but alas, on to the next thing. The restoration. I would use it for restoration. Like this, I kind of want to go download more of these vintage clips and try this out just to see what I get, to be honest, because this is cool. I would definitely use it for restoration. And I don't have like a lot of old footage just laying around. Like I don't have a Super 8 camera. My mom actually has a vintage Sony video camera, like one of the ones with the tape recorders. But I don't have a digitization process for that. So anything I do get, it's going to just be stock footage. Like, see, and this doesn't look too bad, honestly. Like if I was making some sort of documentary about whatever this city was, like I would use this clip, whatever my topic was this city in that time period. I would use it. So that's cool. Now, audio denoise, I don't think this feature applies to me personally, just because I record my audio separately of my video. So my audio is always going to be a separate file. And as it exists currently, I have other softwares for processing audio. I have Studio One and I have DaVinci Resolve. And I use a bunch of different plugins and add-ons from RX11, Studio One, and DaVinci Resolve. All three of those softwares. I use those plugins in the Fairlight tab within DaVinci Resolve to process that audio that is already separate from the video. So if I have to upload a video to this software to process my noise or to process my audio, probably not going to do that, because thered be no reason to add that audio to a video, export it with a black screen or something, just for the sake of being able to upload that audio here, denoise it, whereas otherwise I could just throw it in my audio mixer, apply a few quick effects, and it sounds good. So if they were to add a feature where you could just upload a WAV file and denoise it, I would test that out. I would see how that sounds. But I have no practical reason to use it as it exists currently. So I can't give an honest opinion on that. So I don't want to tell you how well it does or doesn't work, just because I would never practically use that. Now, if I was going to go about restoring stuff, adding FPS, and upscaling, yeah, probably use this, to be honest. And not that I've really given it a lot of extensive testing in DaVinci Resolve, but that, you saw it here, the super scale was applied when DaVinci Resolve crashed. That's the second time that's happened. And that might just be a system thing for me. I'm not sure. There's a lot of different factors in the pipeline of technical processes going on that could have been attributed to. Nonetheless, it has happened twice now, where it didn't here. So, I'm open to the idea of upscaling with this software, because I don't think it did a bad job. So things I would use it for: upscaling, the FPS, and the restoration. I would use this software for those things. And so those are my honest and most transparent thoughts about this. Like I said at the beginning, this video is going to be transparent and open and honest. And I hope that Aiarty can see this video, learn a few things, just because my thoughts that you're hearing here are the things that I think when I'm going about processing video. So I hope that they can take that and perhaps implement that into a new update of the software, maybe. Just take my feedback and work with it constructively. And I know I'm not the only one that uses this software. I'm sure there's plenty of other people out there that use this software thoroughly. And if it works for them, it works for them. You know what I mean? But just in terms of opening yourself up to the biggest possible market, if you're going to grab me, these are the things that I'm thinking. You know what I mean? So anyways, those are just my thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys were able to take something from this and kind of figure out whether or not Aiarty is something that you might be able to use in your day-to-day work or in your day-to-day video software arsenal of tools. One thing I do want to mention is that Aiarty was very generous with suggesting and offering to collaborate on this project, that they wanted to offer 10 6-month licenses, each worth about $50 for a giveaway. Man, I love doing stuff like this. This is just, it's really cool to be working with a company who encourages transparency and constructive criticism, who wants to be able to help videographers like this and get the word out about their product in a way that can actually help people. This is really cool. I'm super excited to be doing this. So if you want to be entered in this giveaway to potentially win one of 10 6-month licenses for this software, head on over to my website, go to the contact page, and fill out a thing for giveaway. And let me know that you're entering the Aiarty 6-month license giveaway. And for every submission that I get through my website, you'll be entered in, and you could potentially win a copy of this software. So if you want to do that, go check that out. Yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys were able to learn something from it, understand what other tools you have out there available at your disposal. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.